Hey friends, I hope you're having an amazing day. And I'm super excited to come to you today and talk a little bit about something that I'm pretty passionate about. And I spent a good bit of time training within my inner circle around this topic today. And I wanted to just bring you a little taste of what we talked about, just hopefully to get your brain kind of moving and kind of thinking about how you can actually step more into your zone of genius. So maybe you are very clear about what your zone of genius is, but maybe you're not spending the majority of your time in it. And that is what I find many entrepreneurs to be happening, right? They understand maybe what it is that they want to be doing, where they should be spending their time, but we get caught up in a lot of the ancillary things that we feel like we should be doing. So I want to talk to you a little bit about that. So this is Talk with Carrie, my daily-ish show. And so I would love it if you would say hello, give me a shout out in the chat box below. Let me know where you're watching from. And if you're liking the content, if you like what I'm all about, then I would really appreciate it if you'd hit that share button so that I can make a difference for more entrepreneurs and more business owners out there to really flourish in their business. Because here's the deal. So like I said, I spent a lot of time today going over zone of genius and how to work more in your zone of genius in my inner circle. And I just want to give you a little taste of it because obviously if you want the full training and you want all the cool things we're doing this month, then you can definitely check out the inner circle, which you can go to my website, carrieshepard.com/inner circle. You can read all the details and just know that our focus this month is all around your zone of genius. And we're even going to be doing some really cool stuff around personality testing and things like that. So if you haven't already read the book, The Big Leap by Gay Hendricks, I highly recommend you read that book because he talks a lot about this. And there's 4 zones that he talks about. So the first one is, of course, your zone of genius. And this is where your talents and your purpose meet, right? So it's what you're really good at and what you really were made to do. So I like to say it's what you're exceptional at. It's what nobody else can do just like you. And so that's really stepping into that big mission and vision that God has for you. And that's what I always kind of refer back to on that. The second zone is all about your zone of excellence. And this is something that you may be highly skilled at, but there's not very many people that can do it better than you. But what it's lacking is the purpose. So if your zone of genius is talent and purpose, zone of excellence is just talent. It's not purpose. And so what happens when you're in that zone is you feel not that fulfilled. You know that you're good at it. And so it might kind of stroke your ego a little bit, but you're not feeling fulfilled. The third zone is zone of competence. And so this is what you're average at, right? You can do it, but it's probably not excellent. And there's some people that are going to be able to do it better than you. So that's zone of competence. And a lot of people spend time right here, right? You can do it, so you just get the job done. Can you feel me? Does anybody kind of resonate with that? Like maybe it's about how to do a Facebook ad. Maybe it's branding or creating a funnel or whatever the case might be. You're average at it. You're kind of skating by. You don't enjoy it. And you know there's a lot of people out there that can do it better than you. And then the last one is zone of incompetence. And this is where you're not good at it at all. And there's a lot of people out there that can do it better than you. And so, for me, I always think of like web coding and, arts like drawing or there's a huge list of things that I'm not that good at and people are much better at. So once you can kind of figure out all the different tasks in your business and figure out what category they fit in, and what you want to be doing is focusing just on the things that are in your zone of genius. So as the CEO, as the head of your business, you're the visionary, you're the creative, you're the one that's coming up with ideas. And so typically that's where you're going to be in your zone of genius, right? Your zone of genius is going to be when you're coaching, when you're consulting, when you're teaching, when you're writing, or when you're on live video. Nobody else can get on live video for you. Nobody else can get on video for you, right? That's your zone of genius. Now, obviously yours is going to be more specific. You need to get really clear on what your zone of genius is. But what happens is when you're in your zone of genius, This is where you feel more fulfilled. This is where you feel like you are on fire. This is something you could do all day long, every single day. It gives you more energy. I always say, like, once I get off the call with my clients, or even when I get off these live videos with you, I feel so energized. I'm like ready to rule the world. And so what you want to think about are, what are those activities in your business that give you that same energy and passion and purpose and just energy, right? And those are the things most likely that are your zone of genius. But here's the thing. We tend to stay in our comfort zone, right? And so sometimes the things that we're really good at and that are our purpose can feel a little bit scary, right? It can feel a little bit scary to be on the edge of that cliff and know that you've got to make that leap, know that you've got to do those things that are going to really give you that fulfillment, but it's scary. Does anyone feel me? Give me a heck yes in the comments if you understand what I'm talking about. If you've ever felt the fear of putting yourself out there or really going after whatever it is that you were born to do. You have to put your flag in the ground and be like, you know what, world, I am the best at X, Y, and Z. I am the best at helping people build businesses that fuel their lives, and to do it in a simple way, and really to help them, step outside of themselves and get outside of their comfort zone. Those are the things that I can really put my stake in the ground. And you've got to be really confident and comfortable to be able to say those things for yourself and understand what those are. Because then the other three categories that we went through, so excellence, competence, and incompetence, those are the pieces that you've got to delegate. Those are the pieces that you've got to give to somebody else that, maybe right now you can't delegate every single piece of that, but at least you're starting to. At least you're starting to understand. And I gave my Inner Circle members some exercises that they're going to be doing over the next couple weeks, or the next week, hopefully, to really understand what are those activities and to get that awareness. And so I would just challenge you to, even if you don't join the Inner Circle, which of course I would love for you to join us over there, but even if you don't join us, just take some time to really make sure that you are operating in your zone of genius. And, I can tell you one of the things in my former business, we had retail stores. And at the time we were looking at transitioning into a new credit card reader, right? We were kind of redoing the technology and stuff. And at one point in time, I was doing all the research on that, and I was starting to talk, and negotiate the contracts. And then I was looking at, figuring out how to deploy them and implement them. And it really came to me, and I don't know that I knew about the zone of genius back then, but all I knew is I didn't like it. And what it was doing is it was keeping me from getting out into the field and connecting with our sales reps and going out into the marketplace and looking at stores and figuring out how we could sell better and talking with our clients. And when I look back, it's because I wasn't in my zone of genius. I had no business looking at how to install credit card readers. And so luckily, before the project went on too long, I was able to delegate it to one of my team members, and he was able to do a far better job than I ever could. And I was released to go and do what I was best at, which was connecting with our sales rep, which was getting out in the field and looking at different stores, looking at marketing. And I just start to think about how stupid was I that I thought that was something that I needed to be doing. And so now, looking at my business now, there are certain things that may not be in my zone of genius that I'm doing, but how can I get them off my plate quicker, right? And so a good goal to kind of aim for is to be working in your zone of genius at least 80% of the time. Now, perfection would be amazing, and maybe we're going to all get there someday, or get closer to being able to be in our zone of genius 100% of the time. But as a startup, as a build-up company, we want to be investing in other things, and sometimes team is not right at the top of it. But there are ways to get creative. Upwork is an amazing resource to be able to hire people for $5 to $10 usually to do some of these tasks. Looking for interns. Things like that are really going to be helpful. So what I'd love to offer you today is, if you are at a place where you're really trying to figure out how to up-level your business, maybe you're just getting started and you want to get it off the ground, or maybe you're at a place right now where you're ready to boost your sales and get yourself out there and get more visible, I would love to offer you a free sales strategy session with me. And this is a call where we can hop on the phone, talk about your business. I can help you with the strategy that could really make a difference for you. Maybe it's about creating some more automation in your business. Maybe it's about up-leveling and looking at hiring a new team member. Or maybe it's just a small switch or a small shift in the way that you're doing things that could really make a difference for you. And so I definitely have some time in my calendar over the next couple days. So if you want to take advantage of one of these sessions, all you need to do is go to Talk with Carrie, and you'll have access to my personal calendar. After you pick a time and you get a spot on the calendar, it's going to take you to an application page where I'm just going to ask you a few questions about your business and where you're at so I can properly prepare for our time together. So if you would like to take advantage of one of these sales strategy sessions, again, just go to Talk with Carrie. And if Zone of Genius is something you want to focus on, or your sales process, or your lead gen process, how are you actually getting more people's eyes on your business? Or maybe it's just a confidence thing. Maybe you want to talk about, how do I put myself out there in a bigger, bolder way? Whatever the case may be, however I could best support you in really growing your business and giving you that strategy that's going to make the difference for you, I would love for you to offer. I would love to offer that to you, because I really appreciate you coming and listening to these Talk with Carrie sessions, these daily-ish shows. And again, I hope they're making a difference for you. If they are, please make sure you hit that share button, and I will see y'all tomorrow on the Talk with Carrie show. Bye, y'all.